Okay, so today we're going to work on the coat, and I'm going to use sap green and ultramarine blue. Ultramarine blue for the darks, sap green for the coat, but I will use ultramarine blue in the sap green anyway to make it a little bit darker. Pick up a bit of ultramarine blue and put it in the sap green. I'm using a bright brush or flat, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from this is the hood right there. So we can adjust the values later on. We can adjust the light and dark. I'm going to leave a tiny bit of a line in between, so I know where the hood ends and where the coat starts. Okay. So I'm leaving a little bit of a line just for me to know where the sleeve is, and because I don't want to paint the whole thing and lose my lines. Everything will be one big blob. We could put it back, but it's easier doing it this way. So kind of a little bit of a white line. Not white, pink, whatever is it underneath. Okay. Try not to have your brush strokes, smooth them a bit. I know it's hard, but especially with acrylics, but if you can smooth them a tiny bit. I mean, we will be putting another layer of green on the coat. Okay, let's use a wider brush. Just to smooth the paint a bit. Okay. Good. I'm going to change to a round brush and work on socks. Meanwhile, this is drying. This is, you see, it's not smooth, but that's okay. We will have another layer and that will be good. Then we can work with the highlighting the folds. So now I'm just going to work on putting some green in the socks. Right, that is first layer as well. I'm putting them randomly, just putting that green randomly, just making sure that I have room for the ochre color and the white. Okay, maybe, so we have white, white again, ochre, white and ochre. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Same here. I'm just going to put one line over here. And another one right there. I'm going to put round circles of green down here. Just like that. And let's put a little bit of green over here. All right. Okay, that's good. All right, I'm going to stop for a minute. Okay, so now we're going to work on the darker parts, folds. So I'm going to take, I'm taking sap green and ultramarine blue and a little bit more ultramarine blue. So when you put your brush stroke, if you see the dark, you're good. If you see the dark color, you're good. See, I see it. I'm good. All right. Now, let's take some here in the back, down, here. This, in the back part where the sleeve is a little bit more, and where the hood is darker. And here. Another one right here. I think it flares out a bit, this one. Doesn't matter because we can always adjust the fold shape when we put the highlight. Back. Now I'm going to take more of the sap green and just adjust the colors in the areas that are not dark. Make sure that the coat has smooth kind of surface. That's okay if it goes dark. We're going to be highlighting soon. Okay. Now I'm going to take more of the ultramarine blue again and just put it here a bit where the folds are on the sleeve. You can hardly see it in the picture right now on the screen, but once I start highlighting you'll see it more, and I'll zoom in as well. Right, I'm going to stop for now. So after that we'll start highlighting, putting the highlights. I'm going to pause. Okay, so now I'm going to start highlighting. I'm going to use a bit of cadmium yellow light. The highlights are not strong. They're just it's just enough to show the movement of the fold. So it's not like a strong highlight in there. So let's see. I'm adding a little bit of a little bit of cadmium yellow light to my sap green and blue. Although, I mean, once you put cadmium yellow light in blue, that's green. You get green. So whether you put ultramarine blue or not, it doesn't matter. What matters is seeing the highlight. All right, let's try with a small part in the back. Okay, back of her coat. Yeah, it's good. The corner of my brush. Just keep watch the shape of the fold. Sometimes it's wider on top and narrower at the bottom, and sometimes it's the other way around. And also, highlights shape the actual. See, that's okay. I made a mistake here. Let's go back. Darken this a little bit here, right there. All right, that's better. Okay. Maybe too much. If I highlight too much or in the wrong area, just use sub green again. That's perfect. There. All right, I'm going to change my brush and take a round one. Take my highlight. If you find that because you're working over dark and dry paint, if you find that your highlight is looking too sharp, has sharp edges, wet your surface with a bit of sap green and then highlight over that one. Then this way the paint will transition softly from light to dark. Folds are not harsh. Folds have a kind of a roundish edge. So they don't end or they don't stop in a harsh lines on both sides. It's very hard to do this when you're working on a small scale like this one here. Very hard to do this soft transition of the fold. So I would say the best thing to do is keep an eye on the shape of the fold more than the edge. So if the shape is like this one here is narrower on top, wider at the bottom, and it just kind of disappears softly into the rest of the sleeve. One more. This one is kind of smaller, and I'm just going to put a bit here. All right, so now I'm going to adjust a bit with darks, this part. clean it up a bit. Whatever you come up with, whatever you see there, that I mean, it's fine. It's good. It will be fine. So don't work too much on that. I'm adjusting the values a bit. There. Let's push this sleeve up a bit. It's just too much, too wide. I'm just putting dark green in there. So now I'm looking at the screen and I can see the back here. There's a long line right there. And then right next to that line highlight, there's dark. It's not like this. There's something, it doesn't look quite right to me. So I'm just going to push the line out on this side with yellow and green. Take more green now into the yellow and kind of soften a little bit. Yeah. And then I'm going to take more green, ultramarine, blue, and darken a little bit here. Yeah, that's better. No, that's better. Okay, I cut the line. It was going all the way up. I cut it. Just make it shorter. So instead of the line going all the way to here, I put paint right there and I cut the line. That's much better. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Next highlight, coat. So we're good with the sleeve. I'm going to take again yellow and green. And let's do this. So with the corner of my brush. I see a lot of different values in there. So I'm just going to go slowly with my highlight. I'm using the corner of my brush and I am using the brush like a feather. Really very soft. I'm not pushing hard on my, okay, good. Again. So this value goes from this lighter color goes wider on top and then it kind of goes in a bit at the bottom. And it doesn't go all the way down to the edge of the coat at the bottom, to the hem. We're just gonna keep now again this one because this is I'm gonna let this dry and then I'll adjust my values in there. Again, let's do this one. Same idea. It's looking a little bit heavy right now, but I will be adjusting the values, and I'll explain when I'm doing this, and I'll show you what I mean by adjusting values. Okay. Right, so now you see from here, from this side, from here to here, it's all the same highlight. It's highlighted all the same. So it looks actually flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take sap green again, and I'm going to go back with my sap green. Just if you take just sap green and just darken a little bit this part. See how it's softer now? So now I have dark, light, and medium tone. Again. Actually, I lost the dark in there, so I'm going to put it back in here. So when I have dark, really, really dark, next to medium, it's better than having dark next to light, because then it doesn't look flat. Your highlight doesn't look flat. Connection is softer. Okay, I'm going to take now, let's clean my brush a bit. Pick up some sap green. And yeah. If you have your reference next to you, you will see in here the transition of the color and light in the folds. The fold has a highlight. It's highlighted, of course, right here. But between the highlight and the dark, there's a medium tone. It's very subtle, but it's there. And now again, I'm going to do the same with this one here. And take medium tone, which is just actually medium tone, meaning I'm using sap green only. Now I can, while this is drying, I can adjust the shape of the folds if there's anything to be adjusted. And again, putting a little bit right here, some shadows. Now, let's go back. Take yellow and green. This highlight is a little bit wider at the bottom. Okay, it's all wide all over, but it's darken a little bit the bottom part. Okay, done. Okay, yellow ochre. Let's put some yellow ochre on the first on the scarf. Down here. And socks. Okay, so now since I'm going to use a bit of white, I'm going to add some of this white to the colors on the socks. So first of all, let's take some white, but I'm going to take a little bit of yellow ochre, mix tiny bit of yellow ochre in my white because I don't want to use white. And I'm just going to do a little bit of a line in here. I'm just putting white wherever I find that, I need a bit of movement or pattern. So I'm not really following what I'm seeing in the reference. Okay. I'm not going to put white on the scarf. But one thing I'm going to do is take a little bit more white where the yellow is. And I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a highlight here, right there. And also on the green, I take green, take white. And the same, not much, as much, not a lot, just a bit that shows me that there's a highlight right there. Also highlighting my yellow ochre a bit. All right. Okay. Let's highlight this a bit right here. All right. So the last thing I'm going to do with the girl is the her face. Actually, since we are working on this, we have yellow ochre here. Why don't we do the basket? We have yellow ochre, we have green. Do you want me to do that or shall I wait?
We could probably finish it. So yeah, let's do it.
Yeah? Okay. Let's take a bit of burnt umber. Mix some burnt umber with the yellow ochre. Or even, I think we can get away with the yellow ochre only, but it's better to use that burnt umber a bit in there. Jeez. That's loud. All right, let's take sap green. Take yellow ochre with my sap green, not the, I'm changing the color of sap green into more earthy, so I'm using yellow ochre. I'll put I'm trying not to use red in there, but I might need to do that. Might need to actually use red. So let's just put first layer. All right, I'm going to use some blue to darken some of the green in there. Okay. And let it dry a bit. While it's drying, now there are a couple of ways of working on this basket. We can do something like that. We can take a round brush, yellow ochre, white. I'm going to let this dry a bit and then I'll highlight it, the greens. And give this basket a hint of a weave. So I'm going to do lines in white and yellow ochre. Again, across. Okay. And now just the inside, I'm going to take dark or just sap green. Sap green will be enough. And then give the those little squares that I have quickly. Fill them up with some green. And there you go. You get a hint of a basket. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Now, if I want at this point to go back and take some of the weave, basket weave that I used before, just to clean it up, I can go back and do this. Clean up a bit. And soften a bit some of these. Honestly, it shouldn't look perfect. It should look like a hint. And soften some of them. You know how acrylic dries? It dries really harsh. There we go. This part here is a little bit kind of smaller. The greens in here, because they're on an angle. I'm gonna glaze most of them with the basket color, because that's what I'm trying to do now. Adjust the green that is drawing darker. And I'm going to take a little bit of yellow ochre at this point. Mix a bit of brown in it, and darken this part. Glaze this part behind her back. Glaze the bottom a bit. And let's put that little rope, or yeah, starts from here. And another one underneath from here. Okay, there. Now the last thing we're going to do is her face. Also, I'd like to put a bit of snow. Oh, sorry, forgot to highlight the green. Okay, let's take some. White, green, mixed with cadmium yellow light, and highlight this a bit so it's not flat. I forgot about those. Round brush. Okay. Let's do the face. I think a bit of red and white is enough. That will give us a nice pink. I'm going to use, let me see if cadmium red light will give me a nice pink. Yeah. All right. Cadmium red light and touch of yellow ochre in there. This yellow ochre here, touch, just to give me a more of a skin tone. But I want a skin tone on the pink side. Okay, that's good. All right. Let's go here. That's not pink enough. It's all right. Let's just add a little bit of more red. Hint of a nose. And what I'm going to do is take burnt umber, mix it in my skin tone. Hint of a nose right at the bottom. And a little bit of shadow. So the bottom of the nose has a hint of darker skin tone. And I'm going to take a little bit of white. Again, add it to the skin tone. A little bit more white. Add this to the skin tone and highlight the tip of the nose. Everything is drying darker, so again, I might have to go back and adjust. Again, same, little bit of lighter skin tone and put it here. Leave the side of the nose darker. Let's put a bit of more pink on her face. And a little bit here, where right here, cheekbones are. Yeah. Yeah. A little bit more pink right there. Okay. Now I can go to take some white, make a little bit of and we can add the white in dots. I don't want to put snow on her, just a bit of snow around her. A hint, like it's just kind of a suggestion of her. Since I have red, I'm going to take some red, put dots of red in here. And cadmium red light. Just on the socks, maybe in certain areas here. I think we're done.
Gonna pick something for the next project?
Yes. I'll stop recording and then we'll do that. All right, this project is done. We're moving on to another one.